the crazy one.
Wait,
I want to
wait.
see the crazy personality.
Wait, listen. I'm not a
And you and your
cheerleader.
son is some.
You a great
You the
fighter.
biggest out of all of them. You a big. That's why you was a pig, right? You a big.
Okay, let me ask you, Ryan, what happened this morning?
Hey, enough of that funny business. We got to fight tomorrow, man.
Ryan.
And this is just a start. Tomorrow, the world will see that I'm levels above this average fighter.
Aggressive, get overconfident. Big left hand by Garcia. Rocks Haney early. Garcia said he was going to knock him out in the first round.
They weren't even scheduled to fight, and still, it nearly turned into a war. In the heart of New York City, right beneath the bright lights of Times Square, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney reignited one of boxing's hottest rivalries, not with punches, but with pure chaos. What was supposed to be a simple weigh-in press event ahead of Garcia's fight with Rolly Romero spiraled into a viral moment when Ryan and Devin squared off again. No gloves, no ring, just pure heat.
Didn't I tell you you're gonna feel some fear you ain't felt?
But here's what the cameras didn't show. Behind the stage tension was something real, something raw. This wasn't just fight hype, this was personal. And it's all happening with both men still locked into separate fight contracts. Ryan has Rolly Romero in front of him, Haney has Jose Ramirez. But make no mistake, they only have eyes for each other. And that's a problem. Because when your focus isn't on the fight you're about to have, it only takes one punch to ruin everything. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what happened between Garcia and Haney in Times Square, why it matters way more than it looks, and what this means for a possible rematch later this year. From PED accusations to chin-checking chaos, and from Mayweather-level showboating to De La Hoya's dire warnings. The boxing world is watching this saga unfold like a slow-motion car crash. And when it all explodes, somebody's legacy might not survive the blast. The moment the doors opened at the final press conference before Ryan Garcia's fight against Rolly Romero, it was clear something was brewing. The media came expecting sound bites. Instead, they got a near riot. Tension had been building for months between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. What started as a bitter war of words, accusations of PEDs, claims of ducking, and non-stop personal digs, finally erupted in the most unpredictable setting. A fight week presser that didn't even feature Haney on the main card. Ryan was there to promote his bout with Romero. Haney was there for his own fight against Jose Ramirez. Yet the headlines that followed weren't about those matchups at all. They were about each other. It started verbally. Haney and Garcia traded words from across the room. Ryan taunted Haney about the knockdowns in their first bout. Haney clapped back, claiming Garcia would never be allowed back in a title fight due to his recent PED controversy. Security stepped in. Too late.
Didn't I tell you you're gonna feel some fear you ain't felt?
In a sudden blur, Garcia made his way across the floor, not just yelling, not just pointing, swinging. Whether it was a slap or a shove, Garcia made physical contact first. And Haney? He was ready. Chaos exploded. Team members from both sides surged forward. Cameras shook. One clip caught Haney's father, Bill Haney, screaming and trying to hold his son back. Garcia's entourage moved in to form a wall. For a moment, it looked like a second fight card was unfolding before the actual fights. But this wasn't just a stunt. Multiple sources confirmed that tensions were already boiling backstage. Haney's camp reportedly heard Garcia mocking them before they went live. Garcia had been walking around calling Haney a paper champ, while Haney accused Garcia of faking injuries and PED denials to cover up poor preparation. Then came the most telling moment. Garcia pulled away from the chaos, smirked, and said into the camera, "I told you all, he's soft. He's scared of the rematch." But scared or not, Haney didn't back down. He looked Garcia dead in the eye and said, "We can do it again, and I'll put you down earlier this time."
No, we just heard Ryan say, "Sure, we'll run this fight back." Is a rematch something you'd like to do next?
Of course. I thought it was a close fight still. I would love to rematch. I gave him a shot. It's only right he gave me a shot back.
The press conference brawl wasn't just a viral moment. It was a symptom of something deeper. A rivalry that's now bigger than titles, bigger than contracts. Personal, violent, unfinished. And as of today, the rematch isn't just hype, it's becoming inevitable. What should have been remembered as Ryan Garcia's career-defining moment, dropping Devin Haney 3 times and handing him his first loss, was quickly overshadowed by a word that's haunted boxing for decades: PEDs. Just days after the fight, reports surfaced that Ryan Garcia had tested positive for ostarine, a banned substance linked to muscle recovery and strength gains. To many, it was a bombshell, but to Garcia, it was a setup.
I cheated and it is what it is, bro. I took the ostrich or whatever it was, bro, and you know, steroids taste good, so I was just very hungry that day, and it is what it is.
How long does this process go on for now?
Just 2 more weeks, and you'll see that I did steroids. I'm totally kidding. I didn't do steroids at all. This is stupid. This is a witch hunt. They're cheating, literally cheating. Devin Haney got a loss taken off his record in Mexico a long time ago. This dude is known to cheat.
Garcia didn't just deny the allegations, he flipped the narrative entirely. In a viral interview with Ring magazine, he claimed Team Haney knew about the positive test before it went public. Even more alarming, he alleged that Devin's brother was aware of it days in advance, suggesting inside information had been weaponized in case Haney lost. The idea that the controversy wasn't the result of cheating, but a contingency plan to erase Haney's loss from the record. The timing was suspicious, to say the least. The test results came after Haney had already suffered multiple knockdowns and a clear defeat in the eyes of most viewers. And if you're wondering whether Haney addressed it, he did.
Is they want to like keep on saying, oh, it's because of the PEDs, it's because of the PEDs. I was on fighting a guy with PEDs. PEDs don't help you block a left hook. You know, he didn't block any of it.
Haney refused to give Garcia credit. He claimed the entire fight was tainted. In his eyes, none of it counted. His body language in interviews screamed frustration, not just at the loss, but at the idea that Garcia was walking away with validation, while he was left with doubts, rumors, and questions about his chin. Behind the scenes, the boxing community has been quietly torn. Promoters, managers, and even former champions are split. Some point to Garcia's history of erratic behavior and claim the positive test fits the chaos. Others say his track record of being outspoken and impulsive makes him the least likely guy to carefully plan a PED cycle. And then there's the deeper theory that Garcia was sabotaged. Insiders have suggested that with Saudi Arabia already teasing a Haney-Garcia rematch, there were too many millions on the line to risk a permanent stain. Some believe the failed test was meant to derail Garcia's image just enough to delay a rematch while keeping Haney protected. Whatever the truth is, the result is this. Boxing now has another asterisk next to one of its biggest upsets in years.
This dude got clowned up. I barely tried, bro. I was drinking every day. On Monday, I was at Tao nightclub. Tuesdays, I was at Little Sister. Wednesdays, I went out. Thursday, I went out. Friday, I was drinking. I was doing whatever I want. The day of the fight, I drank a Blue Moon. I was chilling, bro. And I don't have a scratch on my face. And I fought a pound-for-pound champion, undefeated, undisputed champion at 135.
He went the distance.
He barely went the distance because of that ref.
For now, Garcia maintains his innocence. Haney says it doesn't matter. The damage is done. But here's the twist. Neither man has moved on. Every interview, every press stop, every headline continues circling back to one thing: the rematch. And if it happens, it won't be just a fight. It'll be a war to reclaim legitimacy. If there's one moment that changed the course of Devin Haney's career, it was the second knockdown. The first one shocked people. The second, it raised questions. And the third, it sparked an all-out war on Haney's reputation.
As frequently as it needs to happen.
Oh, he's got it locked again! And down for a second time! It's Devin Haney! 6. Oh! Will the third time be the charm?
Before the Garcia fight, Devin Haney was considered one of the most defensively sound fighters in the game. A technician, a master of distance, a fighter with Mayweather comparisons. But after getting dropped 3 times by left hooks, the same punch, over and over, the narrative began to shift. It wasn't just a bad night. To some, it was an exposure. Analysts began debating, did Devin ever really have a chin? Even Todd Grisham, during the Jose Ramirez press conference, asked the question outright.
People are going to wonder about the state of Devin Haney's chin after his fight with Ryan Garcia. Are you going to be able to test that chin?
Of course I'm going to test the chin. That's my job, you know. Even if it was 31-0 with 31 knockouts, my job is to test his chin.
Haney, visibly annoyed, snapped back.
I don't understand what you mean by chin. I got up every single time against somebody that was on PEDs. So that showed that I had a chin. That showed I had a chin.
But here's the thing. Getting up doesn't mean you didn't get rocked. And the boxing world is starting to treat Haney differently. The aura of invincibility is gone. Fighters who once hesitated now want a piece. Trainers are saying it publicly. Haney is closer to Amir Khan on the chin scale than GGG. That's brutal, but it gets worse.
But mentally and emotionally, what Devin Haney are we gonna get? When you get knocked out or knocked down twice, 3 times from Ryan Garcia, and you've been off for a year, who knows what guy we're gonna see in the ring Friday night? That's gonna be the question.
Oscar didn't mince words. He's seen it before. A young, polished fighter gets clipped bad, and suddenly, the damage isn't just physical, it's psychological. Think about it. When a fighter goes from undefeated technician to highlight reel knockdown victim, everything changes. Footwork gets more cautious. Jabs get thrown from farther out, and worst of all, they start second-guessing their own instincts. That's what experts are watching for in Haney's next fight against Ramirez. Not just if he can win, but how he handles pressure. Because Ramirez doesn't fight like Garcia. He's not flash. He's grind. He walks you down. He makes you bite down on your mouthpiece and see if anything's left.
Quickly, you guys look to test Devin's chin on fight night.
Since the bell rings, since the first bell, we're gonna go. He's gonna be tested, and I know he's gonna put up a good fight too because I know he's in great shape. I know he's a tremendous athlete.
And the psychological angle? It's deeper than fans realize. Every time Haney gets hit clean now, the memory of Garcia is going to be there. The crowd remembers. The opponent remembers. And Haney? He has to forget. Or fold. If he beats Ramirez, the redemption arc stays alive. If he falters, even once, the rematch with Garcia becomes more than a grudge match. It becomes Haney's last shot at relevance in a division that's moving forward without him. As the Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney rematch looms in every headline, there's one man being dangerously overlooked, Rolly Romero. And that's a problem, because while the media swarms Garcia with questions about PEDs, Haney, and rehydration clauses, it's Romero who's quietly preparing to ruin the entire plan. Romero isn't just a fill-in opponent or a tune-up. He's a former champion, unpredictable, unorthodox, and unshakably confident. He's not afraid of the spotlight, and he's not afraid of Ryan. In fact, he's already stoking the fire with old sparring stories, claiming he once beat up Ryan Garcia years ago behind closed doors. That statement alone might seem petty, but for Romero, it's fuel. He sees this as his chance to flip the narrative and remind the boxing world that he's more than a stepping stone to Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia has one eye on Haney, one on damage control, and maybe, just maybe, not enough on the guy actually standing in front of him May 2nd.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Rolly's has never been seen as a real elite fighter, so I'm just here to do my job, knock him out, and ride off in the sunset. That's it.
Romero, on the other hand, doesn't have distractions. He's not caught in scandals. He's not defending test results. And he's not juggling 2 rivals in his head. Rolly's message is simple. You sleep on me, and I'll put you to sleep. And honestly, the timing couldn't be worse for Ryan to take someone like Romero lightly. Because while Garcia may have shocked the world with his win over Haney, this next fight presents an entirely different challenge. Romero is awkward, he hits hard, he throws from weird angles, and he thrives in chaos, the exact type of chaos Ryan is trying to rise above. And here's the thing. If Ryan Garcia loses focus for even a split second, that entire Saudi Arabia rematch payday? Gone. This isn't just about physical skill anymore. It's about mental clarity. Can Garcia truly reset after weeks of controversy? Can he lock in against someone who doesn't care about headlines, only hand speed and haymakers? Because if Ryan is only fighting for redemption against Haney, then Romero might just steal the story altogether. And that, in boxing, is the ultimate plot twist. Forget the weigh-in. Forget the press conference. The real reason tensions exploded between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney? Because the rematch is already booked and it's set for October in Saudi Arabia. But here's the catch. Neither man is guaranteed to make it there. On May 2nd, Ryan faces Rolly Romero, who claims to have already beaten him in sparring. And Haney fights Jose Ramirez, a former unified champ with nothing to lose and everything to prove. One wrong move, and it all falls apart. If Haney gets clipped again, he's not just losing a rematch. He's losing his aura, his reputation, maybe even his career.
But mentally and emotionally, what Devin Haney are we going to get? When you get knocked out or knocked down twice, 3 times from Ryan Garcia, and you've been off for a year, who knows what guy we're going to see in the ring Friday night? That's going to be the question.
And if Ryan underestimates Romero and gets caught, the man who dethroned the undefeated Haney would become a meme, a punchline in just 6 months. But that's what makes this story so dangerous. Both men are obsessed with each other, while 2 live threats wait in the shadows. Ramirez has knockout power, a chip on his shoulder, and trainers saying he's back to prime form. Romero has mind games, awkward power, and a history with Ryan that goes way back. And looming above it all, a sold-out Riyadh stadium, a multi-million-dollar payday, and the pressure of knowing that one bad round could make the October fight vanish into dust.
Enjoy your rest, Ryan. You're gonna need it.
Ryan and Devin aren't just fighting opponents, they're fighting the clock, the memory of what went wrong, and the pressure of knowing that their rivalry, this entire redemption arc, could come crashing down before it ever gets its sequel. Because if either man stumbles now, the rematch becomes myth, and boxing loses one of its biggest stories before the bell even rings. When Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney locked eyes at the weigh-in, it wasn't just personal, it was generational.
Didn't I tell you you're gonna feel some fear you ain't felt?
Because this isn't just about revenge, it's about positioning. In the sport, in the headlines, and in history. The rematch in Saudi Arabia isn't just a fight, it's a coronation for whoever makes it. Haney? He's got everything to lose. The slick technician, the undisputed champ. But that word rings hollow now, doesn't it? After 3 knockdowns from a man he once called a C-level fighter.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Rolly's has never been seen as a real elite fighter, so I'm just here to do my job, knock him out, and ride off in the sunset. That's it.
He's spent a year rebuilding, sparring harder, training smarter. But is that enough to undo what the world saw in April? And Ryan? He's the chaos agent, the flashy outsider turned executioner. He's not supposed to be here, especially not after the PED cloud. But the tape doesn't lie. Haney fell 3 separate times.
As it needs to happen. Oh, he's got it locked again! Oh! Will the 3rd time be the charm?
Now the world watches 2 men try to rewrite the ending before it's even set in stone. But here's the problem. Both of them still have to survive Thursday night. And in boxing, that's never guaranteed. Ramirez wants a resurrection. Romero wants revenge. And the sport itself, battered by controversies, diluted by influencer circus acts, desperately wants a real rivalry. Garcia versus Haney, the second is that rivalry, but only if it survives the fire. So now, we wait. Will Haney's chin hold up one more time? Will Garcia stay focused long enough to land another left hook? Or will all of this, every shove, every soundbite, every sold-out hype moment, end before the real fight even begins? This isn't just boxing anymore. This is chess on a ticking clock. And the bell's about to ring. We're not watching a comeback. We're watching a countdown.